Shut up and sit down.
Ready to go.
Ready to go.
Cobbster.
Oh, this is it?
Yeah, I'm just going to start.
Wow.
This is my podcast. I'm doing whatever the fuck I want on my podcast.
I'm so nervous.
Yeah?
I don't know what to do. I'd like to thank my mom, my dad. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Don't be a Beardo.
Yeah.
Wow,
This is my podcast, episode 3.
Episode 3, yes.
Yeah. If you know what's up?
I was going to say why I'm not first. You went with RB3 and Ace, but that's fine. You know,
I mean, RB3 is number 1 in my book.
That's true. He should be number 1 in everyone's books. That kid works way too fucking hard.
Yeah. I don't know what he does. I don't know how he has the time to do all this shit he does.
He fucking does it, man.
Yeah.
He's a college kid. He's got that young kind of like, I understand. He's 19. He's in college, and he's got that sort of young gravitas.
But did you have that drive in high school or college or anything?
I don't think as much as he did.
I didn't have any drive. I was just like, I'm going to go to class and do nothing afterwards.
When you're passionate about something, then you sort of can engage yourself with that sort of energy, and I still find myself doing that now. But now it's like there is a balance between that drive, that passion, but then also you also get discouraged. You get a little negativity. You kind of like you're fighting your own battle. Because I think for me, at least, I don't know about most people. There's moments where I get surges of energy wanting to do something, whether it's writing or editing something, and I get like a high on that. But I get that high when I'm doing other things that I'm busy with, and then by the time I come down to it and I have my free time, I'm like, fuck, I just don't feel creative at all.
Is it after you have a cup of coffee?
No, actually, no. I mean, the cup of coffee rather is a big boost in the morning, but it's mostly when I'm doing all my duties with like schmoes or if I'm doing stuff for Collider and everyone else is doing things as well. And I overhear and they're all doing these exciting projects. I'm like, fuck, I want to do this project. I want to do this project. There's so many things that I want to do.
And you get anxiety because you don't feel like you're doing enough.
Yeah. And I always have to have my plate full more so than that I can maybe even handle sometimes, but it's just, I'm constantly working on one thing or another. So that's just sort of how I work.
But it's like fun because like you enjoy doing it. It's not like, fuck, I have to do this again.
It does get stressful, like everything does. But at the end of the day, like I almost have to remind myself a lot of the cool things that I'm doing because I get stressed off and mad by a lot of things.
Yeah.
But then by the time I'm actually working and I'm like, fuck, I'm cutting like a UFC/WWE kind of promo for a movie trivia show on the internet. Like that's really fucking cool.
And you're getting paid to do it.
Yeah.
You're getting paid to watch movies, just talk. Like it's everyone's dream to just watch movies and talk about it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't get paid to watch movies, but you know, watching them like enhances like I got to go see Logan early and I got to be on a review with Christian on their channel, and me being a fan not growing up, but like all through college and finding them, being a fan at the very beginning with these guys and then actually joining them to let alone be on a review and shoot some videos with them is pretty crazy. So,
let me take a step back and say you are the producer of the Schmoes Know Live show. And how long have you been the producer?
It's been, I wish Cody was here for that. Jeez. When did I become producer?
Was it during after phase 6?
No, it was during phase 6 because because I started as an intern in 2013, and then by the time our first Comic-Con in 2014 hit, because I joined in 2013 October.
Yeah, you said Halloween was your first show.
That was my second show. I think I came the week before that. Okay. And then Halloween. So it was around that time.
So 2013. How old were you in 2013?
Math.
What year were you born?
I was 92, so I was...
So you're 21.
Yeah, I was 21. So
okay.
Starting to drink, do all that stuff. Yeah, it's fun.
So how did you come across the Schmoes?
I actually found Jeremy Johns first.
Oh,
because I wasn't really into the whole YouTube thing. Like it was kind of just there. I remember me and my friends watching some like Balloon Shop was a huge YouTube channel they used to watch.
What's that?
They do sketch comedy, or they used to. They're not anymore. Olin Rogers is the guy's name who was kind of like the lead of it. He does his own things now, but I found that YouTube channel. I found it really funny. I'm like, I wish I could do stuff like this. This is kind of cool because I grew up not doing so much video stuff. I was more into bands and playing in bands and stuff, but. Yeah, don't fucking cough right into the mic. Sorry.
It's all right.
But me and my friends would do Jackats videos. All the time. We called it, God, what do we call it? I don't remember. Balls out. Yeah, we called it balls out.
I did the same thing like 7th grade. We had like a shitty video camera. We would just like find shopping carts and do whatever we wanted.
We had a camera that recorded straight onto tape, and we didn't have a battery for it because we had no money, so we had to plug it into a wall the whole time. And we just had like a giant extension cord following us around.
You couldn't really go anywhere with it.
No, I got to find one of my friends who has a tape and transfer it over.
You have like an actual video, like VHS tape. It would record straight to that, like the giant. Like,
I remember
newsreel camera.
We couldn't even afford a blank videotape, so we recorded over a movie, and we even it even had like the FBI warning logo at the very beginning. So
that's pretty cool.
We felt pretty dope about it. And then it started off with like Avenged Sevenfold's Unholy Confessions. Like,
you can do that. How'd you do that? Like,
I have no idea.
How did you like edit music into a VHS?
Oh no, we didn't edit it. We just had it playing off like a boombox or something.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But so I did that when I was in my middle school phase, and then all throughout high school was all band, and then by the time I hit college, I started to get more and more into film and not just film, but like, you know, movie stories and looking up, you know, the biggest things like, you know, who's going to be in the next Marvel movie and all that stuff. And I'm like, I like talking about this stuff, but I didn't really have anyone around me that liked to talk about it as well. Like, like I was always the guy who would see a movie and then want to dissect it, talk about all these things. And everyone was just kind of like there, like they would talk to me as well, but part of me felt alone in that.
Because you would see movies differently.
Yeah, I saw it differently. Yeah. Because most people, not to say I'm special or anything, but when you watch as many as you do and you kind of critique it in certain ways that general audience members won't, because they'll just watch them like, oh yeah, that was good. You know? I'm like looking at everything in the film, the way it's shot, the way it's edited, the way the music kind of incorporates with all the scenes. And I felt very alone in doing that. So I didn't know how to channel that. So I started my own YouTube channel.
Where you did review movies?
Yeah, I started reviewing movies. Not very good. Not good at all.
I remember seeing that. You would just a close up of your face, just like straight to camera, like I'm reviewing Pulp Fiction.
Yeah. No special lighting. It was in front of this really shitty curtain I had in my parents' house. And it was, I think the first camera I used was this tiny little like photography camera. I don't even know what the hell it was. And then eventually I got like a Sony Handycam, but
like no special mics or anything. It was just straight to camera.
Straight to camera.
You taught yourself how to do all that?
Yeah, I'm all self-taught when it comes to shooting and editing. I picked up I used to edit all my reviews on Movie Maker. And then because at the time in my job, I was working in a warehouse, just packing boxes and putting bottles in boxes and all this shit. And eventually I got to do quality control. And then eventually they're like, oh, hey, you go to college, you write, and you want to work in the marketing department? I'm like, sure. I worked in marketing for like a month. Just doing.
Was it the nail place?
It was at the nail place.
Okay, yeah. So you've had that job for a while.
Oh yeah, I was there for over 5 years.
So you would you would create marketing videos to sell?
No, I didn't start off in video at all. I started in the warehouse.
Oh, just like shipping and packaging. Okay, yeah.
Just a regular like 9 to 5, just packing boxes and
while
shit.
You were in college.
Yes, yeah. Because I started working right out of high school. Like I graduated on a Saturday from high school. That following Monday, I started a job. And my first job was at a photography studio where I would sign kids up to do the yearbook photos, prom photos, and all these different things. And then come December that same year of 2010, I got that job because family friends, they own the business, and all of us kids who played baseball with each other, they all hired us to work there during the summer and all that. And it was a lot harder to do it during school because my schedule was so crazy because I was still a freshman in college. But then by the time I got like a sophomore, junior, I had been working a lot more. And then eventually they moved me up to the marketing department. And like it was cool. Like I was just sitting at a desk, but I wasn't really doing much. But then eventually they moved me into the art department to sort of help out with the art department manager, the art director, if you will. Yeah. And I was helping her out with stuff, kind of being like her assistant for a while. And then when we started doing video shoots, they had me go and help out with some of the video shoots. Like, oh, this is actually kind of cool. I was learning more about cameras. I was learning more about editing. And then,
so they hadn't always done videos, or was that like a new thing that they brought?
They had videos, but they had like third-party companies do it for them.
Okay,
but then
they decided to do it. Okay.
As soon as they got a second warehouse, because we were originally in Norwalk, and then we moved to Brea. And then when we went to Brea, they had one giant building. Then they got another building where they threw in the art department. And then now I think they have 5 or 6 buildings. So they just grew from there.
Yeah, because we used to film Wangers there.
Like
the first couple episodes we would shoot Wangers, and then you had like the whole like studio system with like lighting and everything. and then like little ADR booth to record narration and all that.
We had all that. We had all that nice stuff. And then as soon as I left, I mean, I'm sure because I still have good relations with them. If I asked to rent them, I'm sure they'd be, but I don't want to burden them with that. And I don't want to be responsible if I fucking mess up their stuff. So
yeah. So that was your first like foray into just video production.
Yeah. Cause we wouldn't have our production shoots, like, you know, they'd be kind of rare, but when they happened, that got me really excited. Even if I was just doing grunt work, like moving lighting and moving props and all that stuff. And eventually I just became one of the lead editors with another buddy of mine. And we kind of just took over everything. We came up with like our kind of not scheme, but like our plan for videos. Like, you know, it's like, we basically how it would go for like a nail collection, because this is all be for nail and beauty.
And nail polish. You guys would create marketing videos to sell it.
Yeah. So like there would be specific season collections coming out. So like there'd be a winter collection. So it's like we prep for that. It's like, and by the time I left, we got more creative with things. Not because it used to be just like, all right, we'll have a 30-second teaser, the behind the scenes video, and then like boom, that's it. But then by the time I left, we were like, let's have 7 videos for this one collection. We have multiple Instagram videos that we wanted to do, a teaser, and then a full like commercial video, not just like a behind the scenes. And then the behind the scenes would come later to sort of show the process of everything being done with like interviews and stuff like that.
Did they give you like a lot of creative control to do that, or did they give you a lot of notes? Are you allowed to talk about it?
I can talk about some. I mean, look, it's a thing that I realize it's going to be everywhere you go. There's always going to be people controlling what you do.
Yeah.
In regards to actually shooting everything, like that was all us. Like it was all like we came up with all the story ideas, because by the time we were doing behind the scenes, it's like, oh, we want to get the lead creator of this specific design to talk about her vision on what she wanted to do. And that was great. That was all us. We were able to flesh that out. It was just the post part of it that was just like, change this, change that, change this. It was just a lot of back and forth that was just unnecessary. But
they give you notes of like, make that a little like cut it a second shorter or something. Yeah, yes. And it was just like super fine tuned.
But the thing that I realized, and as angry as those moments made me, that's just a lot of places where you go. You know, it's just kind of like you're kind of the middleman of, and you know, people give you direction, and whether it's good or not, you have to just follow it.
A lot of the times you're just a button pusher.
Yeah,
because they don't know how to push the buttons.
And in my old place, there was a lot of butting heads. There was a lot of butting heads, because when you get so many creative people on one project, it just, you know, that shit happens, and it's everywhere you go. But
butting heads with you?
Butting heads with me, yeah.
Like, were you like yelling at people?
Not like yelling. I mean, I'm sure there were some heated moments that happened here and there, and there's definitely been moments of, you know, shooting a video and doing all the stuff for it to get canceled. You know? And all this, like, oh man, I remember I worked so hard on this one video and ended up being canceled because we got another deal to host this specific collection. Not to go into detail, but
that's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen, and it's partially my fault for getting hopes up and like not working so hard, but I don't know, getting so into it, because it got to a point where I just like, you know, like I didn't care as much, you know. When I started doing all this stuff, it was new and exciting, and I was learning how to use Premiere and After Effects. You know, this stuff used to scare the shit out of me. I remember using Premiere and I'm like, okay, this is fine, but being kind of self-contained, I'm going to do this way, I'm going to do this. Now it's gotten to a point where I'm like experimenting with like, what if I did this? You know, like I know how to do certain things now that I didn't know before. And even like After Effects, I hated working it because it was so intimidating. It was scary to use that. But by the time I'd been using it so much, it was nothing. And then I just expanded from there.
But
Photoshop,
these projects you would take personally.
Oh yeah.
But then once they get canceled, you would take that like personally to you. Yeah,
I think so.
But you have to learn like how to let that go.
Yeah.
Because like in this business, like things are gonna get canceled.
Yeah,
and things are just gonna like fall apart.
Yeah,
whether it's money or time or issues or whatever.
Yeah,
but you can't. But then you let it get to you.
Well, yeah. I mean, especially when you're kind of invested in something, and you know, if a shoot goes really, really well, like, oh wow, this one stands out more so than the other ones, and then eventually it's like, you know, I don't know if we're gonna end up using this. I was like, why? We have great material here. Why don't we use it? And it's just, you know, it's canceled. Like, oh, you know, we got this amount of money to do this instead. I'm like, okay, fine. You know, but it's just something that you have to let go.
That's what, like, because I just shot stuff recently with another company, and it's like we had all this footage, but like right in the middle of editing, they just cancel it, and I'm like, why not just at least like put it together and then like put it out? I guess maybe they weren't proud of it, or maybe they didn't like the final product. But I don't know. I would really like to see the final product.
Well, I think the biggest thing for me in what we were doing, it's like when we would have our specific vision, right? And there wasn't a whole lot of help from another party, but we would kind of have to create everything on our own. You know, we would have to pitch and sell it in a certain way, like this collection means this, you know, and we'd have to do that on our own. There wasn't as much help on that front from a whole lot of other people. It's just a lot of us in the art department coming together and creating that. And then by the time we shoot it, we edit it, and we send it to them to view it, and they're like, this isn't what we're going for. Well, it's like, well, we're working on this on our own. We didn't have any help from forehand. So that's where the butting heads kind of came in from. As like, but it got to a point where we did start working with them. And so like, here, this is our vision for this. This is what we want to go for. And when it happens, it runs kind of smoothly. There's still going to be butting heads about, oh, I think this needs to go there. But the process did get a little bit better. Don't know how it is now, but you know, I wish all them the luck, because they still everyone that's working there in the art department are the fucking most creative and great people. Like Froy, this dude I used to work with, he sat across from me.
His name's Froy?
Froy. Yeah, Froy Gutierrez. And he is a Photoshop mastermind. Like this dude could do stuff, fucking unbelievable stuff with Photoshop. He's one of the best dudes that I know. And everyone else there that worked in that department that I worked with were great to work with. You know, it's just, you know, other people that I just didn't care for working with.
But see, it's like you had to go through that to get where you are now.
Yeah,
like
no, absolutely.
You take.
I don't regret it. I don't regret anything.
Okay.
No,
yeah, you take what you learned from that, and you're like, okay, this is what I learned, and this is how I can apply it to what I'm doing now.
No, absolutely. It helped me prepare. You know, because if I do run into, because there's been times, you know, where I'm working at now, where it's just I've run into that same thing, not as drastic, I would say, but it's very similar. It's kind of mirroring a lot of the same things.
Yeah.
Because you know there are a lot of creative people where we're working at, and it, you know, just someone's vision goes over someone else's, or you know, it's just that's just how it works. You know,
do you guys still butt heads?
No, I don't. I don't think it's a matter of butting heads. It's just taking other people's opinions and kind of just reworking with that, and then giving your own. Because even at the other place, I would give my 2 cents, and even still now, I give my 2 cents, and it's just a matter of working it out from there.
You're not the type of guy that would just be like, okay, sorry, I'll do it this way.
I don't want. No, I don't want to be, and I don't do that to be like my vision's better than yours. It's just like, okay, I get why you want to do it that way, but if we did it like this, would you think that it would work better like this or like that? It's just a matter of, you know, filling that hole in.
So it's not like you're saying it's my way or the highway.
No, not at all, because it should never be like that
for anybody.
I don't think it should ever be like that, because I mean that's the whole, like, you look at George Lucas, that's how it was for him, you know, and
for the prequels,
yeah. He was just surrounded by yes men, and I don't like being a yes man, and I don't want to, you know, see anybody else being a yes man. It's just like everything that we're doing, it's all creative and it's collaborative and everyone should be working together on it. And you know, that's just how I learned, especially from the last place. So
there's, we're getting a plane overhead.
Yeah.
I think you should be fine. But I just lost my train of thought now. So what exactly do you do for Schmoes? Like, you produce the live show.
Yes, I produce the live
once
show.
a week.
I think we got off on a little tangent because we were talking. Well, that's fine. So I produce the show, and
the live show is once a week on Wednesdays.
Yes. But now I'm also editing all their movie reviews.
Oh, you do that?
Yeah.
Who used to do that?
Aaron Wilhelm, who he edits all the Schmoedowns.
Oh, okay.
So he puts together all the Schmoedowns, and he does a fucking great job with that.
But now you work for Collider or for Schmoes, or how does that work?
So I guess technically I'm freelance for Collider. I do a lot of their I work a lot with the .com end as well as the video. So for Collider, I will, like, say, you know, like Movie Talk or Heroes, all those kind of main genre shows. They have a write-up of all their notes. I'll put that together and I'll write a .com article for that. And then I'll take the video, upload it to the Complex player, because Complex is what runs everything. Yeah. And then write a .com post for that with the .com team, as well as some other shows that are on the YouTube channel.
Wait, what do you mean .com team? So like
Collider.com?
Yeah.
So if you go to their website and you find Movie Talk, like as one of the shows, I'm the one who writes that post. Well, it's more copy paste than anything, because they'll write up, they'll have their show notes, and I'll take that and kind of reword it and everything, put it into that article form, so that people that are just strictly like .com, or if they watch it off the Complex player that they have, they can watch it from there. And then I also do a bunch of other shows for them as well.
And it links to the video and stuff? And
yeah.
So are you like promoting Movie Talk, or are you just
It's kind of like it's basically promoting it via the website.
Okay, so you do that every day. Because
do that every day. Movie talks
day.
every day, and then whatever genre shows are out that day.
You do it for each show?
Each show.
Like there's TV Talk, there's
Heroes, Nightmares, Jedi Council, and then both Schmoedowns. And then also there's that new show, Awesome-tacular, which is on Verizon Go 90, where I write up that article with the help of all the team that's behind that as well. Reword all the stuff in there, write that post, and then link it to the actual show link on the Verizon Go 90 website.
Why is that one on Go 90 instead of just on Collider?
Because Go 90 is funding that one.
Oh, they are.
Yeah,
They want to produce like more original content.
Yeah,
and then
you can find that on their app and their website.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So are you not editing as much as you are? But you're doing the reviews, but you're not editing like
now. I'm editing a lot more. The only thing that I really edit for Collider are the Schmoedown promos and the story clips. So like if you go back and you watch the Dan Murrell and John Roca show. Oh, sorry. I'm burping.
Sorry.
I did the story bit of like kind of like where they started and where they are from, and then a lot of the promos that you'll see they run through Movie Talk and stuff. I cut those like 30-second promos.
Oh, okay.
Or like minute promos, depending on what match it really is, and then I also did the 30 for 30 special on JTE one.
I saw that recently again. That was pretty funny.
It's so much fun to work on because that talking about collaborative effort, that was like everyone coming together working. Like Cody, like all of the stuff the guy said in the interviews was improv. It wasn't like no, because the funniest thing about that is it's like we didn't really know what we had, but we just wanted to do it.
Yeah.
So as we were interviewing people, I was coming up with the questions like, JT did this, blah 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 blah, and then they kind of fill in the blanks. And I interviewed Mark, Christian, Riley, all in the same day. And so I kind of like, after interviewing each of them, I kind of got the ideas of the question. Makuga was the first one I interviewed. I had no idea what to ask him. Then fortunately enough, it all kind of came together. And then when I interviewed JTE and Finstock kind of separately, I already had all those questions planned out so that they can directly tackle those ones. And then it was very much like shoot it and then working with it at the same time, because editing that thing was fun, but it was a process because I didn't have a specific format to go by. And then RB3 making the music. Cody wrote the script of what Ken was saying in the VO, and then Ken added some things to that as well. And then we just fucking put it all together into one gigantic thing that ended up being, a big hit. At least I think so.
So now you learned a lot from that, and you're going to take it and probably create more.
Oh yeah. If I think we've been tweeting it and kind of teasing that there's going to be an announcement on the show. The next 30 for 30, if you will be on John Roca.
Oh yeah.
The fall. I don't know what we're titling it yet, but I'm thinking at this point, the fall and rise of the Outlaw.
Yeah, because the first one was JTE, the Rise and Fall of JTE.
Rise and Fall of Little Evil or something like that. Yeah.
So because it's all about the Schmoedown, where JTE used to be like a kind of a big star at Schmoedown. Yeah.
And then he just fall from grace.
Yeah. He just started losing more and more, and he would,
at this point, I'm sure like JT is so in this thing, I love fucking JT so much because when I interviewed him for that special, like he just knocked it out of the park.
Was he being serious or was he being like a character?
I don't know. Who knows? He most likely could have been serious
because he's saying like losers like are
I think he
winners or some like weird like kind of Buddha like saying
he's great. He's just great.
But that's all him. That's not like written for
nothing
him.
is scripted. None of that was scripted. Like I said, the only thing that was scripted about that special was the VO portions, and even then, Ken help add some stuff to that as well. Like there was a bit in there about Kangaroo Jack that Cody wrote up.
Yeah,
I didn't think anybody was gonna like that, but it ended up being one of the funniest things. So
yeah, well, why was that in there?
Because that
was a question for the Schmoedown?
The whole thing with King, I don't know, maybe it was, but the whole thing with Kangaroo Jack is just it was just it's that type of humor that Cody and I have, just getting off a tangent,
like a random
kind of off-put thing, and then like Ken starts talking about it, he's like, oh wait, where was I? Oh yeah, that's right, and then getting back on track. I was actually surprised that everyone that watched it, kind of in reviewing it, because I don't think anybody knew what we really had.
Yeah,
and because that video I think is close to 50,000 views, and that's like the most viewed thing that I've ever worked on, and the fact that we got little input on the way back, we did get some input add this here, add that there from everybody. But
so was it your idea to create that, or was it whose idea was it to create the JT?
I want to say it was Cody's idea. I think it was like an offhand comment he made to Christian
because he watches 30 for 30s. It was like a parody of 30 for 30s.
And then it turned out to be this huge thing. I mean, the video is like over 20 minutes long, and it's like a legit thing. So
it looks legit. Like it has like graphics and intros and music and everything. Yeah.
So,
but did you create it on your own, or did like Christian or someone just come in and put notes? Give you notes about it?
I pretty much put everything together. I came out with the outline. Christian gave me he trusted me fully how to outline the whole thing. And, I'm not as familiar with the 30 for 30 because I'm not as much as a sports guy as everybody else is. So, I watched a couple 30 for 30s and kind of got an idea of what it would be like and kind of just made it our own thing. I made the outline how I think it should go. There were some things that I might have forgotten. I know a lot of people were saying, where's the decision in the JTE special?
Oh, yeah, that was
like
in there.
That was like a big moment. And it was just something that I left out. But again, that was still kind of all me sort of putting it all together. But now that we have so many people that are going to be working on this next one, I want to up the ante. I want to get more interviews, get more people to talk about this.
So the next, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, this one's a big one because, where he came from,
John Roca
in the Schmodown and how he started. Bespin was a huge thing. His battle with Scott Mance, like I want to get Scott Mance in an interview in this thing because I think that would be incredible. Like Matt Nost and throw in Perry, throw in maybe Emma Fife in there because she started to kind of get involved with all this with all the post interviews and interviewing them and
so
obviously all the guys that he fought in the Schmodown. So.
John Roca's been around in the Schmodown for a while. Mm-hmm. The Schmodown's been around since like 2014, 2013.
I think 2014 because we did it on our own. We were at AfterBuzz during Phase 5. It's just kind of like, hey, let's come up with this like
movie
14-week tournament, like March Madness style, and have like a trivia thing.
And Roca's been a part of it since that?
He was part of season 2 technically because season 1 was just like kind of like
just the schmoes.
It was just schmoes mostly. And then I think we did get some people come in here and there, but when we started doing teams, then it started to expand a little bit. And that's when both Matt Nost and John Roca joined
Team Top 10.
Team Top 10 because Team Top 10 before it went to Collider was on the Schmoes No Podcast channel. It's just them doing their podcast there.
Okay.
So they started Top 10. And then once we got to season 3, the first season in 2016 for Schmodown, Matt Nost and John Roca joined as top 10, but then they also did their singles run, and that's where we are now. So right now we're in season 4.
How did John Roca become like a star from Schmodown?
I think just his personality, him coming out as the outlaw.
He created the outlaw personality. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So he wanted to be one of those because it is obviously UFC/WWE when it comes to the Schmodown,
like
stuff.
A character or a persona or something.
Well, here's the thing: very much like JT, I have trouble finding out discovering like if it's a character or if it's him because there's moments where this guy's off camera, and he's like full outlawing out. I'm like, John, the cameras aren't on right now, and he's like, shut up, like it just
Perry posted a tweet where he's like laying down.
Oh, that's real. Oh, it's him preparing,
like with a towel on his head, like thinking or something.
Well, here's the thing. I'm like obviously, taking it serious in that way. Yeah, it's kind of funny when you really think about it. But when you're actually, because I've been on the Schmodowns before in the past, and then even on Collider, and it's tough. It is not easy because when you get out there, especially when you get kind of a crowd going and watching you, it's like the most simple questions. You can have a big brain fart. Yeah, because everyone watching is like. Are you serious? Come on.
Yeah.
When you're there, it is a different experience.
And then Christian says 5 seconds.
4, and then it
3.
gets to you. You get the anxiety, and you don't know, and then you blurt something out that you don't mean to actually say.
I wouldn't be able to do like the writing part because like
I
that's so fast.
Shit. Yeah,
but like also you have to come up with a question, and then you have to write it really quick.
I like that new change a lot better because it gives more opportunity, especially for teams. It gives more opportunity.
What's the change?
So it used to be like, say if it was you and me going against each other, they'd ask you 3 questions, then me, then it'd go back to you for another 3, then back to me again.
They're not doing the whiteboard thing anymore?
No, they are doing. That's the new rule. Where you write it down, and say if it's teams, you go opposite teammate, and it gives both your teammates a chance to get a point. So say if you and I teamed up and I wrote down a question or an answer that was wrong, but you got it right, then we still get a point. Whereas it was like, it was really depending on, who gets it right, going back and forth.
So Roca became a star because he's also really good at trivia.
Yeah,
like he's actually really good at it.
He is really good.
Like he's lost a couple maybe.
Oh, I mean, during his fall, he was losing a lot.
So he was undefeated for a while.
I don't even know because gosh, I gotta see again. This is me all prepping. I actually started writing the outline today for that thing. So, and this will be out on Tuesday. Maybe I would have tweeted out a little hint or something like that because I like doing that. You know, I like because I mean before the JT special came out, there was like a minute promo that I cut together and we put up on the Collider, and everyone's like, "Wait, is this real?" Like they didn't know. And then when we dropped the thing, a lot of them lost their minds. So, and I'm thinking because of how small that was. That one's almost like an independent. Now this one, I'm hoping this one's like a big blockbuster. I want it to be, I don't want it to be as long. I think the length is fine. Even 15 to 20 minutes would be fine. But, and the amount of time that we got to do it. But I think I just want to up the ante. You know, I want more interviews. I want it to flesh it out, and I want it to look better.
Are you going to interview Roca?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
No, he absolutely like. Anytime we're going to do like 30 for 30 type stuff, the person that it is about needs to be interviewed. Especially, I mean, I got gold stuff with JT. I can't imagine what I'm going to get with Roca. I'm very excited. And you're going to be involved with this process too, because before that, it was just, you know, a couple live, because I used a bunch of equipment from my old job, these really nice Sony cameras.
Or you're still working at your old job doing the JTE one. Yeah.
Yeah. So now that I'm with Collider, we do have a lot more equipment to be used as well. But no, I'll have a sound guy because I'll have you to trust. Because for them, when I interviewed all them, there was some technical issues. I had to reshoot JT's stuff. His whole thing, because we originally interviewed him on the Collider set, and there was a mic technical issue, and unfortunately, it was something that we had to go back and reshoot because it was just unusable. And even a lot of Finstock stuff was unusable. But luckily, there was some stuff in there. If you go back and listen to it, there's some audio stuff kind of peeking in there. We didn't end up using a lot of his footage. I was just fortunate in the story plot or the storyline that I needed him for. It was kind of perfect.
But it also works, whatever you got with JTE, like him and his like Patriots poncho or whatever the hell that is.
It gave me more time because I was sort of rushing myself. I wanted to get it done. I wanted to do all these things. And then when I went to his place to record, he threw on that poncho, and I could not have been more happy that we had to reshoot it.
Yeah. So it worked out.
It worked out. Yeah. And it's funny how things work out like that. You know, there's a lot of things we talk about reshoots all the time. We make fun of it. Like we made fun of Rogue One for getting reshoots all the time. If you go and listen to the Force Awakens commentary, there's a lot of things that J.J. Abrams talks about where like, oh, this scene right here, we reshot this, we reshot that. Yeah, we reshot this on the roof of ILM. It's like, you know, they just had to do it. So it's like, it happens fucking everywhere, even in like a little YouTube thing. So with
Roca, his big moment was missing the Bespin question.
That was, I don't want to get too much into the stuff, but I mean,
that's the whole reason of like why like this is being made.
I think that was the big spark of like, okay, like it's just it's because it comes out to be a really funny moment. A guy who does Star Wars podcasts couldn't get a Star Wars question, especially his beef with Mance.
Who's a Star Trekkie,
and because their beef I think started on movie fights on Screen Junkies.
They would yell at each other.
They would go back and forth, and that carried over into the Schmodown. So there's a lot of ground to cover with them, but I'm excited to work on it.
Do you think Roca threw that question?
I'm sorry?
Do you think he threw that? Because like that's what Mance was saying. Funny? Like he threw the question so Mance could win.
That might be a question I'll ask him.
Roca's saying, no way, why would I throw the fucking question? Because I want to beat this guy.
It's hard to think that he would, especially who he is now as the outlaw. Because no one is more competitive and nobody wants that W more than Roca does.
Yeah.
So it'd be very hard for me. Maybe he was in a different state of mind back then. Maybe he wasn't full outlawed out now. So, where he's taken, because he has the belt back now, which was great. Seeing his reaction to that was great because he was genuinely, you know, thrilled about it. He's been wanting this more than anything. So
about winning the belt.
Yeah. So a whole 30 for 30 on him seems very, very appropriate. And everybody has been like, you know, after that match came down, because I think they have a 48-hour spoiler-free kind of zone, but now that has been lifted, everyone's been saying on the Movie Trivia Schmodown Facebook page, Schmoville, like, we need another 30 for 30. And I'm like putting a little smiley face. I'm like,
it's coming.
Maybe. Yeah. So that's kind of the big announcement we've been teasing.
So going back to college, you didn't answer, like, how did you find about Schmoes? Because you said you found out about Jeremy Johns.
That's where we got off topic a little bit. Yeah. Good job.
You found out about Jeremy Johns, through movie reviews?
No. I was playing Mass Effect 3 at the time, and which is a video game. Yeah. Because he does video game stuff. I think they all do. Except
I didn't know that.
They don't play video games and stuff. I think they do, but you know, they don't do videos on it. But I remember playing Mass Effect 3 and being very upset with the ending, like most people were. There was like a huge thing back in the day, and I found his video because I was like, oh fuck, am I the only one? I want to hear someone talk about this. And then he was talking about the whole he was spoiling the whole thing in the ending. I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool. So I watched that video and I started watching more of his, and then I found John's, and then I found like Chris Stuckman, John Flickpick, pretty much it, which were big movie reviews at the time, and even still now.
They're huge movie review channels.
Like the biggest ones. And then eventually I also found Schmoes Know in that mix. I don't really know what the order was because they had all collaborated with each other on specific reviews. They used to do a thing called the You Reviewers Awards, which were basically like the Oscars for movie review YouTube channels. Kind of just like a big fuck you. Because, I mean, so many people were snubbed every year. And it was a show for the fans, by the fans. So, it was a cool thing that they all worked on.
How did you contact the Schmoes?
So when I was doing my YouTube stuff, I would just review movies like left and right. And I remember they, I think it might've been Christian. I don't know if it was Mark or Christian, but they actually commented on one of my reviews one time, and they were like, oh yeah, I totally agree. And it was a total fanboy moment. Like I totally geeked out. I'm like, oh my God, he commented on my thing. And I actually got a Twitter just for the Schmoes Know Show, because I was watching, like a lot of people do, I was just watching the reviews and I wasn't listening to their podcast at all.
Or watching the live shows.
And then eventually I started listening to the live show, and I called in a couple of times, which is kind of fun. I think the first time I called in was a Jeremy Johns, Chris Stuckman, and Flickpick episode.
You actually got through?
I actually got through. I got through a couple of times. I think maybe like twice, maybe 3 times.
Did it go as well as you hoped?
Yeah, I think so. I didn't shit the bed. I don't think I did, at least.
Did you have like a question prepared, or did you?
One of them was to try to win a contest, and then I can't remember the other times. I might have shit in the bed. I probably did.
Because it's funny that like a lot of people are trying to call in the show, but like they don't have anything to say.
No, and that happens, and it's understandable too. I've been in that same boat. And I think out of all of us, I don't know if Ace or Cody called in. JT definitely did call in before he joined the show, but RB3 also I think called in as well.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I think he called in, but then how I got in contact with him was funny because I think I was Facebook friends with JTE, who was JTI at the time. And he
Josh the intern. Yeah,
he actually he posted saying like, "Hey, I have a extra ticket for a screening to go see World War Z. Does anybody want to go?" And I didn't want to like go out of my way and ask him, so I actually just liked the post in hopes
you wouldn't say like, "No, yeah, pick me,"
in hopes that he would just like message me. And of course, sure enough, he messaged me. He's like, "Hey, dude, you want to go to the screening?" I'm like, yeah, I'll see if I can go. And so I ended up going. I met him there. I was talking with him about Schmoes. I'm like, asking him all these questions about the show and everything. And going to kind of, we hit it off. We went to a couple screenings together, and then I eventually helped him shoot this show, this thing he used to do called Meet the Schmoes.
Oh yeah,
which is like getting to know the Schmoes and via video form, asking them questions. He did it with a couple, but he never finished it.
Was it like a long form podcast, or was it like a?
It was
video?
more just like a video episode. Yeah, we did it on the old secondary channel Schmo Plus.
Oh, okay.
And I helped him shoot his episode because we wanted to do it more sort of I don't know, found footagey. Like he didn't want to do like a thing. Oh, get to know me. We'll just involve the Schmoes and kind of like a day in the life of JT, but in the extreme form. Because then Finstock makes an appearance. It was the first time I met Finstock, or Tom Dagnino. It was the first time I met Mark Riley, and it was the first time I met Mark Ellis because we went in front of one of the. It wasn't the Comedy Store. It was the one.
Improv.
I don't know. It might have been the Improv. I don't remember which one it was, but
Laugh Factory.
No, it might have been
Ice House.
No, I don't remember.
It's all right.
But yeah, I met a lot of them for the first time there, and I helped him out with that. But before that, I remember we went to Doghouse, which was like this very nice burger and hot dog place you can get food from, and he's like, hey, so not to get your hopes up or anything, but we're looking of getting a new intern because at that point he was still an intern, and then there was another one, the kid, he interned for a while, but I think he went back to Italy, and JT was like, we might need another intern. Would you be interested? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely.
So at that time, was he still an intern, or was he the engineer now?
No, he was still an intern.
Okay.
Yeah. So I said, yeah, absolutely. He's like, okay, cool. I'm gonna get your contact information. I'll give it to Christian. He'll probably give you a call at some point, and we'll see if he can bring you aboard. I was like, yeah, absolutely. And so I don't know if I've ever told this story, but the first time I ever talked to Christian was on the phone. Yeah. But so
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so I think I told you this, but so this was at my old job in our old art department, and I'm kind of just waiting for the call because he said he would call me sometime during that week. And so I go to the bathroom as you do,
to take a shit.
Yeah. Yes, I had, and people poop. Okay.
Yeah.
And sure enough, while I'm on the shitter, Christian calls me, and I'm like, I didn't recognize the number, but I was pretty confident that it was him. So I was like, fuck, I don't want to miss this call. I don't want. So I answered the phone call when I was on the shitter talking to Christian Harloff the very first time. I was a huge fan of the show, and he was like, hey, what's up, man? Like, we were just having a full on conversation. I don't know if anybody walked in the bathroom or not. It would have been hysterical.
But you didn't care.
I didn't care. I was so freaking thrilled. And he was like, yeah, let's have you come into the next show, and let's see if you work out or whatever. Let's see if this whole thing works out. And from there, I've been with the show since October 2013.
It just like worked out.
It worked out. Yeah. They threw me on the mic. I was super nervous. Yeah, I think you can even tell if you go back and listen to that one.
Oh yeah.
I was pretty nervous, but eventually I found my way through a mic, and it's fucking easy now.
That was your first time like on a microphone?
On a mic, like on a live show.
Oh yeah.
Kind of doing podcast things.
But you were still like you had done movie reviews, so you were still like
like I knew
well
kind of
spoken.
I a little bit. Yeah. A lot of my videos that I edited for my YouTube channel was very choppy, a lot of quick cuts. And
was it on purpose or just like to get rid of like,
just
bad
to
stuff?
Condense the time, because it was always like, oh, keep your minutes less than 5 minutes so people to retention time and all that shit. But now it's like, fucking cares. I don't care if a video's over 10 minutes. Sure, I'm gonna watch it if it's something that I'm wanting to listen to. So at that point, I just don't care anymore. But yeah, so
you started off as an intern.
And
then what?
It was funny because this was phase 3. We were at the Toad Hop Network, which is in Hollywood.
Is that the one with like the 3 screens?
Yes. That was the Toad Hop, and that's when Toad Hop was producing a bunch of shows, and then eventually, like, I was only at that studio for maybe a month, and then we stopped doing it because Toad Hop wasn't producing shows anymore, and so it was like, oh fuck, we don't have a studio anymore. So we were kind of in limbo for a little bit, and it sucks because like I had just joined the show, and like, it was just kind of like, oh fuck, we're not doing anything. And then for phase 4, friends of the show, they had a production company called Drama 34. And David Fickus and Brian, I forget Brian's last name, but they did a bunch of sketch comedy stuff. We collaborated with them on a Star Wars audition tape video thing a long time ago. And they hosted us there, where it sounded great, but like for video, we were using like an Apple desktop computer, and we were like spinning it on the live cam,
the webcam thing.
We were like it was very haggard, very haggard, and we weren't too happy with it because it was just a pain in the ass. Like we needed a setup, we needed a home. There was conversations at one point that we'd set up our own garage and do it straight from there, but it never panned out.
How long did that one go for?
Oh like man, that was a couple of months. I don't know exactly, but
because I thought I didn't even know about that one. I thought you just went straight to like the popcorn talk.
No. We were Drama 34 for a little bit, for a minute, and then we got away from that because we got a deal from AfterBuzz, Maria Menounos' podcast kind of company, and we started phase 5 there, and then Popcorn Talk came afterwards. Where we had, because it was originally going to be the Schmoes Know Network, and then eventually just become Popcorn Talk Network. And then, there was all those shows. There was Jedi Council. There was Guilty Movie Pleasures, Box Office Breakdown, all of those shows.
That was all part of the Popcorn Talk? But that wasn't necessarily part of the Schmoes Know Network?
No. Like the Schmoes Know Network was kind of a thing. I guess technically right now we sort of have our network because the idea was to have a bunch of shows under the Schmoes Know kind of name. And, it turned out to be the Popcorn Talk Network instead. And then, now there's a couple, like there's this show, there's the Wanger Show, there's Schmoedown Rundown, Schmoes Know After Show, or After Schmo, if you will. And so I guess technically now it's kind of that network, but...
So you went to AfterBuzz. That was phase 5?
That was phase 5. We were there for a long time. Over a year, I think.
Did you like it there?
Oh yeah, it's fucking great. I think at first it was a little trouble. Like we were like kind of like the new kids on block. There was all these other shows and podcasts. They were like, who the hell are these guys? But no one was like ever being rude. It was just that awkward, weird stage. Like I remember Roxy Stryer. I used to think she hated us.
Really?
Because if you meet her, she's very intimidating at first, but she's the sweetest person in the world.
Yeah.
So every time we would go in there and she sees us, I'd feel like oh, I don't want to make her mad. But and we ended up getting along with everybody there. They knew us as like the Schmoes guys, always drinking and podcasting and doing things, because we were a little out of the element in comparison to the other shows that were there, because they were very much like structure. I mean, not to say we weren't a structured show, but they're like, hey, how you doing? This is our show. Whereas like, what's up, motherfucker? If we're considered,
it's more like the punk rock network compared to like NPR.
Yeah, we were like a big frat house coming into this very nice, organized machine. And then, so Phase 5 was all of AfterBuzz and Popcorn Talk. And then they moved studios in like Encino, which is a little bit further of a drive. I think it was Encino.
That's way far. That's past
Encino
Northridge?
or Burbank, one of the two. It was because I think they're right next to each other, and that was a different setup of ours, and it wasn't ideal what we were going for. Like it's perfect for what AfterBuzz and Popcorn Talk were doing, but for our show, it kind of limited us to do certain things.
It's what they have now.
It's what they have now.
Okay.
Yeah. And plus, I think they were doing something because the old studio was like a house. It was basically a house built with like 3 different sets, and now they have like a whole building dedicated to just multiple sets, and it's perfect for what they're doing. For us, it was a little bit different, so we left that, and then we went on our biggest hiatus we've ever been on.
It was like 3 months.
It was a long time from Phase 5 to Phase 6, and then they started doing a lot more stuff with Collider. Collider had their big studio, so eventually we joined that area, and Phase 6 was the Collider show, and now I guess technically we're like I consider it, I guess, Phase 6.5, I guess, maybe, because I even have some graphic elements that I'm been currently working on to change the look of the show a little bit.
What do you mean? What graphics?
Like a new logo. I've been Ray, who does a lot of the great graphics and stuff for Collider. He's helped us create some of our logos as well. So like some of our lower thirds and all that. I'm working kind of with him to change it up just a little bit, just to give it a different feel, because it is a different kind of show now in comparison to it's a more throwback show to Phase 3.
As opposed to the original Phase 6 when we first started with Collider. With no headphones and 2 tables. And just like 8 mics and just guys talking.
Yeah, and it made it like I liked the Wanger table a lot because it's fun, but it was so hard to hear someone from the other. There was this disconnect between us.
There's a lot of distance that you don't see on the show.
Yeah.
So then, like, you have to yell, like, "Yeah, I'm over here. I want to talk about Logan too."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it worked for a while, but after a while, it's just like we need to change it up. We want to change something up, and bringing back the headphones, having you come in and help us with that was a big help as well. Because we're not as tech savvy when it comes to audio.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
And you're welcome.
Well, fuck. but and then the whole thing was like we need to bring back the couch. That was Christian's big thing. He wanted to bring back the couch, and for a lot of time, it's like we don't like. Part of me was like, we don't need a couch to bring back the feel. Yeah. But as soon as we did, it brought something different. And the headphones was definitely a big step up for that. So
everyone loved it. Ken loved it. Riley loved it.
Yeah. I mean, like aesthetically, maybe it doesn't look so pleasing to the eyes that have headphones, but our show, first and foremost, is a podcast. It is a video podcast, And
it's always had headphones. Yeah. Like it was just that Collider for a little bit where it didn't have headphones. Right. And people got used to that.
Yeah. And what they're doing with Collider Movie Talk, it's a completely different monster. So they don't need headphones. They don't need it for that, And so what we wanted to try to do, we wanted to bring back that feel. And I think I want to say I'm pretty confident that it's brought it back for the better. Because our shows, as of recent, everyone seems to be really, really enjoying it. So
I see the comments where they're like, "This is the best show ever," and then the week later, "No, this is the best show ever."
So I'm very blatant, as stressed out and angry as I get for these before the show even starts, it makes it all worth it. Yeah. Because the show that happened when we introduced phone calls, I was not in a good mood. I was
during the show.
A little during and then afterwards, mostly afterwards. I was not happy.
You weren't happy with it, like that the phones weren't working?
Yeah, I was just very upset because I wanted to go more smoothly, and I think I fault myself for getting my hopes up, thinking that nothing was going to go wrong. Yeah, because I think that's one of the things you do in anything in life is something is always going to happen,
especially during a live show where you can't cut anything out.
Yeah. So I
think like the phone calls work so perfectly.
That's the thing. Yeah, and that's what everyone kept telling me. Like it was a fun bit that those phone calls happen, and then with the voicemails, and then when I wake up the next morning, I go check out the comments in hopes that like, oh, this failed.
People said the phone calls failed?
No. I'm just like, that's what I was anticipating. And as soon as I went in the comments, I reassured myself that wow, a lot of people really enjoy this shit. And sometimes I have to just take a step back, and it's like, I'm working on a show that averages from 80 to 100,000 views an episode. And it's like, sometimes I don't really think about that. Like, that's a lot of fucking people.
Yeah.
That is a lot of people.
It's crazy that 2,000 people watch it live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
and since we moved to Wednesdays, the live count has been better. So,
and then we can bring, with phone calls, people can try to watch it live. They want to watch it live to try to call in.
That was one of the biggest things that I wanted to do. It was that more push to give them that drive to want to try to call in. And because even like, calling their names for the giveaways is something like, oh, fuck, my name got called. Like, know, I love that shit when I watch it as well.
Yeah.
So, we try to involve the fans as much as we possibly can. And, so, fuck.
How do you think it's going so far?
Oh, it's going great.
Yeah. Are you more relaxed that you
I'm never relaxed.
Are you stressed out every week?
Yeah. I'm always stressed out. Only based off myself because, I do a lot of the graphic elements for the show. Like Cody cuts the show, not cuts the show, but he switches the show as it's going live.
Yeah.
But I mean, I make the giveaway images. I put together all of Ken's images that he needs. I put together the breaks, which take up most of my time because I got to throw in the ads for that. And then, actually just producing the show, making sure we get our plugs in there when we need to. And, the specific giveaways and, what we're trying to pull for that, getting all those right, and then there's all the prep work for the show. Then there is the show, which is 2 hours that maybe go long, maybe that go by really fast for everyone else, but for me it's like a stretch. Like,
you feel like it goes forever?
It goes for not really, and I don't mean that like it's poorly paced, but it's just like I've got so much stuff going on in my head, making sure everything's going right. And I'm fortunate to be working with fucking professionals like Mark and Christian. When Christian was on, they know how to steer the ship. They know how to, get things done when it's coming to the live show. And, I obviously have to remind them on stuff because there's a lot of times I don't want to mess up their flow. If they're going off on something, I don't want to remind them, hey, we got giveaways,
or like 2 minutes until break.
And, I don't want to have to do that, but we try. And now what I'll say is like when we were at AfterBuzz, there were shows after us. So it's like we had a 2 hour time crunch plus some time to get out of there, and before the next show starts. Now it's like we're there and there's nothing else after us. So if we go over, it's not a big deal. But I still like to try to keep it within that 2 hour time frame, But
so how do you prep for the show? Like the show's on Wednesday. When do you start prepping for that show?
Well, it's definitely quicken the process a lot more. I start doing my stuff Sunday nights. Because I do work on weekends as well. I try not to, but I just I'm technically freelance for both of these guys. So
you have to work every day.
I'm working as much as I possibly can.
How do you know when like what the topic is for the next show?
Me, Mark, and Christian will sit down and we talk about it on Mondays, basically.
On Mondays?
Yeah.
So now it's 2 days before the show. Yeah.
No, well, as of recent, Mark and I will start texting each other or emailing or calling each other on Sundays, and it's like, hey, we're thinking about doing A, B, C. Maybe we'll have so-and-so as a guest and this and that. And that's how it's been kind of working now because it is a quicker process.
Yeah.
So the first and foremost thing that I do, what I do is like I edit everything off of my hard drive. So I set up all my templates. I basically episodes, I think this week that it's airing is 271. So it's like I open up because I'm very organized when it comes to my Premiere projects and editing stuff. So
are you being sarcastic?
No,
or are you really
I'm dead
organized?
serious. I'm very organized when it comes to that. And so I have my final exports where I export everything, whether it's a video or an image. And I get all that ready. I record the breaks with Ellis on Mondays now. Like as soon as he's finished with Movie Talk, I have him come in, record it, boom. Because that's usually the only thing that I'm waiting on. That and besides the thumbnail, because sometimes for the thumbnail, I like taking the picture of all of them there for that show the day of, and then implementing it. That sometimes becomes a pain in the ass because it's like Cody needs the thumbnail to make the show live, and all that stuff. So, but yeah, I start on Sundays and I get all my stuff ready. I look at because I have Google Sheets of all my giveaways, who's going to be on the show, the rundown, which of course was a big help from Miri and even Ken because they would do that as well. I just basically taken their format and used it for ours.
Ken was the producer before.
Yeah, Ken was producer before, and then it was Miri, and now me.
Okay.
Yeah. And then go down, get me and Mark and Christian will run some ideas after me and Ellis will, since now Christian's not really he's not doing the show. Me and Mark will talk about it, and then we'll go to him, and then we're like, hey, we're thinking about doing this, this, and that. He'll put in his input, and then we go from there. I create the outline, I send it to all you guys, which, by the way, I appreciate that you're the only one that actually says confirmed. I don't know.
No one else says confirmed?
No, I always think that you're doing that as a joke.
No,
because I put like confirmed in giant caps. But
I say that?
Yeah, no. I do that. Like when I send out the email to everybody. But no, I appreciate that you actually say confirmed, like I'm going. But
no, that's something I've just learned. Like when people send out call sheets, like they say, please reply with confirm that you receive this and that you know where we're meeting the next day.
Well, I mean, it is different too because I work with a lot of the same guys there.
Oh, so
it's
you
like,
see them?
Yeah, I was like, you're going to Schmoes, right? I email them the rundown, and in the email, I don't know if anybody really reads them, but like, hey, we're doing this, and this. We're having this person on to talk about this, and I like to keep it tight like that so everybody knows going in. And sometimes we run into things where Ken can't write the news, like last week. You know, so I mean, shit happens. I'm very lenient on. I was like, hey, you didn't write the news? What the fuck, man? Like, we have leeway. And we have things where Ken is so good on the fucking mic where he can just improv everything like he did last week. So. He
can just go on a rant.
He's going on a rant.
What the fuck?
That's the thing. Yeah. Sometimes we like, what are we gonna call this show? What's the main topic gonna be? And a lot of times it's just the conversation is sparked from that show. You know what I mean? So, and I'm very fortunate that I but I get to work with so many great professionals that can carry the ship for a whole 2 hours without any dead air. Because that's the one thing I don't want. And that was the one thing with the Wanger table that I kind of felt was like holding us back. It was just this awkward conversation. Like if I'm all the way over here and Christian or Mark's all the way over there and I'm shouting at them, I don't want any of this sort of like just that. Any pauses? Like
there would be pauses between the Wanger table?
No, it's just like sometimes not just necessarily a pause, but like wait, what would you say? Like reassuring.
Where like someone has to raise a hand. He's like, okay, Cobbster over there.
Right.
Yeah.
But now that we have headphones, it can get a lot more chaotic and crazy. But we all hear each other now.
Yeah.
We all know what's going on.
So now like everyone's invested in the show. Whereas the Wanger table, someone can be on his computer.
Right,
in the back and just like checking Twitter or something. But now, like, I'm sure people still do that to see like what the comments are.
Oh yeah.
But now, like, they hear the show directly into their ears.
Right. And so after they do the rundown, I do all my duties for Collider as much as I can. I try to get those done first so that way I can work on Schmoes afterwards, just to kind of it gets me in that sort of zone. And when I record the breaks with Ellis, I put the breaks together. I record my bits with that, and then
how do you get guests?
I mean, it just depends. Sometimes, like with the Rings thing, the studios,
the Bonnie Morgan.
Yeah, they like, hey, we've seen your show, we like it, we like for you to have guests.
They contact you.
Yeah, I mean, it really depends. And sometimes we go after guests. Like, there's a guest I'm working on right now that I think is going to be really cool. I don't want to say it just yet, but I mean, it's no like huge celebrity, but it's about a film that everyone really loves, and this person would be interesting to have on the show. And it also depends, like when we have guest hosts, like a lot of comedians are friends with Mark. Mark's friends with a lot of comedians, and he'll ask them, "Hey, you want to pop in?" Or if they have something to plug, "Hey, come on the show." And their great personality, as
like the Candace Thompson or the other guy. I forget his name, but yeah, he's funny. Yeah. But but like, how is it your job to like go and search out like a star to like have as a guest on the show?
Well, now that we have phone calls and it's become more of a video podcast, it makes it easier to do that. Like if I need to go out there and like, hey, we want to have this person on, but if they can't get on, they can call into the studio. And so I'm starting to do that more. And that's where we want to go, because we obviously want to have a lot more guests. We've had some really great guests, and we want to continue to have guests.
Like
it's
in
studio.
Yeah.
And part of the thing was, it was hard for a lot of stars or celebrities to come in at this certain time, especially if someone's coming in for Collider. We're fortunate, like, hey, do you want to interview them for Schmoes? But it's like, they can't do that because
the show's not till 7.
Not till 7.
Yeah.
So sometimes we would pre-record it, and now we've gotten to a point where like, pre-recorded interviews are great, but having them there on the show, it's a different energy, it's a different feel.
Yeah.
I mean, we had Derek Cianfrance in studio a couple months ago, and that was really great because he's there, he's interacting with us. And then when we have to like throw it to like, we did the things where like, oh, Ellis interview the guys from Monster Calls. Here's that interview. So we want that person in studio. We want that presence to be felt.
It kind of stalls the show
a little bit, yeah.
Not like in a huge sense, but it's like, okay, now let's watch this video together.
Exactly. Yeah. So,
But
so working towards that a little bit more.
Do you have to go to like a studio or someone say, "Hey, we're the Schmoes No Show. We have 100,000
I haven't
views a
done that
week."
yet. I haven't like gone knocking on studio doors, but we have a lot of contacts with studios, and I think it's just a matter of like when a film's coming out, like hey. Because that's how we do with Blu-rays. We've gotten to a point where company, because I think a lot of them are third-party companies that work for those studios that work on just the home entertainment part for the studio. And now I have like a list of names who I go to for specific studios, and some of them work for multiple studios. So it's like, hey, Arrival's coming out. We'd love to host a giveaway and review it on the show. We review it right then and there. We talk about it, and we give it away to the fans. And they've been really helpful with us of giving us really great titles and just setting it up for the fans, because at the end of the day that's what it's all for. It's for the fans. And these are for movies that we all really love and enjoy, so it's really cool. Who
got a hold of Michael Rapaport?
I think, gosh, I want to say that was a Complex thing. I think not like it's a complex issue, but like
the Complex company.
I think he's friends with someone there and have him come on to Movie Talk. I mean, I would love for him to come on Schmoes. That'd be amazing.
You should get him on Schmoes.
I think he would be perfect for that.
That guy's hilarious. On Movie Talk, he just like turned everybody upside down, and I think he'd be a good addition to Schmoes. Well, not addition, but like a good guest to Schmoes. Yeah,
no, I definitely agree. I would love that as well.
Yeah. So you have? Can I ask you one question?
No. Yeah, go ahead.
Why are you so angry?
I don't know. Well, my therapist says no. Gosh, I don't know. I've always been an angry person.
Yeah.
I think it's because when I take something that I am very passionate about and it doesn't go my way, whether it's something like the Schmo Show, if my fucking internet doesn't work, I get fueled up and I get really angry. I don't know what the source of it is. I should probably get some kind of diagnosis or something.
But what is it? It's not the internet. It's something else.
I don't know. It's just I think there's something wrong with me, Brian. I think there generally is.
Yeah.
Because I've been that way my whole life.
Yeah.
And it gets to the point where like people know about my anger.
Yeah.
So they'll try to use that against me and try to
fuck with you.
Fuck with me.
Yeah.
And that was kind of my thing during, when I was a kid in elementary school and middle school. It became a real big problem with me.
Oh, even back then.
Oh, yeah. It goes back further. Yeah.
You've been angry that long?
I've been angry my whole life, man. Yeah. I'm so bitter. I'm just a very bitter person for no reason.
And you never saw, you played sports, so you'd get some anger out.
Yeah, but you know what's funny? Like I would, a lot through middle school, and maybe even a little bit in high school too, until my junior or senior year, I very angry. Yeah. Not so much just competitive, because I didn't care if we won or lost. It was very selfish, but all I cared about is if I did good.
Yeah.
That's all I really cared about. And by the time I hit junior or senior in college, I just didn't give a shit anymore, because I wasn't really playing that much. So I'm like, I don't fucking care.
Did you play football?
I played football. I played Pop Warner in 7th and 8th grade, and then I played freshman year in high school. So football.
You would get some anger out through there.
Oh yeah, that was nice. But the therapeutic way of me getting through all this was actually going to movies.
Yeah,
going to movies and just watching, relaxing, taking, not dealing with the real world issues and just going away for 2 hours. And I did do therapy for a little bit during.
You actually spoke
college.
To somebody?
Yeah. It wasn't therapy. Wasn't for so much my anger, but just more depression than anything.
You were depressed?
Fuck. Who isn't?
I know who isn't, but it's like. Not many people reach that level where they have to talk to somebody about it.
Well, yeah, I mean, it just got to a point where it felt necessary to do so. And, I was scared to do it because, like, for the longest time, because they offered it for free at my school.
Oh, you did the school one.
Yeah, I did the school one. And for a lot of time, it was just me outside the door, like, should I go in? Should I go in?
Oh, really? You had a battle?
I was scared. I was scared to go in there because I didn't know what it was going to be like. But then I did it for a few months, and, it did help me out. It helped me realize some things. Like, there's a lot of moments where, like I know I'm going to be angry about something or feel a certain way about another thing. And I just like I realize it before it actually happens.
Okay.
And I can sort of channel it to the point where like, okay, everything's going to be fine. You're not, nothing. It's not like it's all a fucking waste of time or anything. You're actually doing cool stuff. So sometimes I just have to remind myself about all of that.
It makes you more aware of the situation.
Yeah. And it makes me aware of the situation as well as situations with others. Cause a lot of the time I don't want to come off that way and be a dick to somebody. That's never my intention. Like if I ever come off as angry or like, a lot of the times during the Schmodown, there's so much stuff going on. Like I'm in my own zone and I'm not there to be friends with anybody, but I also want to work with people. And I think that's one of the big problems, because I might come off as standoffish or a little bit of a dick, but I don't mean to do that. It's just, I'm trying to get my work done. I'm trying to get it efficiently. I want the stuff to look good and all this stuff. There's just a lot of the things that there's a lot of stuff on my shoulders, and I have really big shoulders. So it's very
literally,
literally. So my whole thing is just, I want everything to be perfect, but I know I can't. And it's stressful because of that.
Why do you think you have to be perfect?
And that's just kind of how I am, like when I was playing sports, and I wasn't the best athlete, and I think I just got the job done. I wasn't the best student, I was C to B,
Oh, really?
Yeah, I wasn't the smartest person, but I fucking read.
Yeah.
I read a lot, and I would study my ass off.
But did you get in college like right out of high school?
Yeah, no, yeah, I went to college right out of high school. But I always wanted to be as best as I could be. I didn't want to be, middle ground, even though, it was
average.
more, I think I would say I was a little above average. It wasn't just like C's across the board.
Oh yeah.
But I just always wanted to be like, I wanted to be that A student, but I just couldn't, and I'm pretty sure I have memory issues, because there's some shit I just fucking can't remember. And it's not so much that I don't care. It's like, I genuinely cannot remember that. I don't, but I can remember, I can remember every little thing that happens in Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or
so it's
some line or it's the name of the shaving cream or some shit.
Exactly. So,
have you ever been like diagnosed with like ADHD or something?
No.
No?
I haven't gone that far. I'm too scared.
You're too scared to like have someone say like, "Hey, you might have like."
Because I've always had it, because I'm a psych major. I majored in psychology and I minored in forensics, and that was kind of the route I wanted to go to. Because criminal profiling and everything about serial killers were just very fascinating.
You?
If you look at my fucking bookshelf, I got like 3 serial killer books over there.
Yeah, mental illness and crime.
Yeah, those are the only 2 books that I have up there that I didn't sell back. So, but
that's what you want to do in college.
That's what I wanted to do. Yeah.
But do you think you got depressed because you realized you didn't want to do that?
Maybe. I don't know. I think part of me was just, I don't know. There's a lot of things that I realized that I can't do. And I don't know. It's very hard to kind of determine, because, I do a lot of really great and exciting things.
Yeah.
And I try not to take that for granted, because, someday it might not be there anymore.
Yeah.
But also there's just moments where I just don't feel enthused. Like, I don't feel like I can do that. Like, there's so many different projects that I want to try to do. There's a book that I'm trying to fucking write, and it's just very stressful, because like there's times where like I was saying earlier, like I feel creative in the parts where I'm the most busy, and then when I'm done with that, I don't feel creative at all. Like I feel like I'm talking to myself, you're a piece of shit. This is never going to work.
Yeah.
Your work is crap.
That's how everyone feels.
And it's just, I think I take that to an extreme, to the point where like I don't want to do anything. Like I just want to fucking sit there and rot. And I don't know why.
My biggest issue is like, I tell myself there's 1,000 different guys that are way better than I am at whatever I'm trying to do right now. And that I just tell myself not to do it. Yeah. But that's not how you are.
I keep that in mind as well. But I think about, there's a lot of people out there doing or at least trying to do the things that I'm trying to do as well, whether it's writing something or making a short film or doing that. But the thing that helps me keep going is that the fact that I'm doing it. I'd rather be stuck in a competition that I can never win than never actually even competing, because at least I'm going for it. Yeah. But at the same time, that's one of those sad things, because it's like, I may never get there, and that kind of discourages me a lot, because it's like, what is this all for? What am I doing this all for? Am I doing this for myself? Yes, because I enjoy it, but like in the outcome, when I look back at this, what kind of legacy am I going to leave behind? Yeah. So I don't know. It's just very hard being stuck in between all that. And a lot of the times when I was growing up, it was like, stop bitching, stop complaining, stop being a baby. Yeah. Not from like my family or anything, just people in general. And but it's just at the end of the day, it's like if you're judging me based off of that, you just don't understand.
It's hard not to.
Right.
But I was talking to my girlfriend recently. It's like, what am I most afraid of? And I'm most afraid of not being successful. And then I had to think to myself, like, how do I define success? Yeah. So how do you define success, like in your field or whatever you want to do?
I mean, part of me feels like I'm there.
You feel successful already.
I do feel successful, because I was given an opportunity as a fan to be part of something really great, and now I'm almost running. I'm partially running something that's really great.
But you can't enjoy it?
I can enjoy it. But the thing is that I don't enjoy is when I not necessarily don't have it my way, or if my vision gets interrupted by a technical error, or if something like like the Halloween episode. I always bring this up. Like I was so excited to do that one. That was the most production I've ever done on an actual show. Like so much, because I did videos leading up to that. I was teasing it. Yeah. That's where I wanted to go. And it just, some things happened where it didn't necessarily go my way. And it felt like a mini failure, even though a lot of people enjoyed it. And even Cody to this day tells me that it was a very fun episode. Yeah. And it is a fun episode, but it's just, it wasn't exactly what I wanted. I think that's my problem. I think I just need to stop trying to be so perfect and just, accept it for what it is. But I don't know, part of me just can't accept it either.
It's hard to say like why you feel everything has to be perfect. Like I can understand wanting everything to be perfect. But were your parents like pushing you to be perfect?
No, I mean, like all, you usually play sports?
Yeah.
Like, was your dad hard on you in sports? Did he strive you to get to a certain point?
Kinda, yeah.
It wasn't so much
like I was a pitcher, so he would give me a pitching coach and like want me to be the best at that.
I think it wasn't so much them being hard on me, them me trying to not impress them, but to be all I can be for them.
Make them proud.
Yeah, I think more so making them proud. And a lot of the times I felt like I was doing it for them and not myself. Whereas I'm at a point now where I'm doing everything for myself. But
they're still supportive of it.
Yeah, they're absolutely supportive. But still, like, they don't understand. Like, okay, what are you doing now? Like, because they've had to ask me, like, what do you
do? They still don't understand? Like,
they do now, but yeah, I mean, it's just a different time. It's a different time in comparison to what they were doing. And, maybe I went in a route that they didn't, really want me to do. But, yeah, they're very supportive and they're very proud of everything that I've done. It's just, they don't fully understand, a lot of the stuff that we do.
But you still think that they're very proud of you?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I hope so. I really hope so.
Yeah.
I hope I'm not a disappointment. My brother went to the Air Force, so it's a lot of fucking shoes to fill in. So,
So he's like, what have you done for your country?
Yeah, exactly. I make videos talking about dicks on the internet. I don't know what you want.
Fart noises.
And fart noises. Yeah. So, but I mean, this is definitely the right direction that I want to go in. Yeah. I've talked about them too. If any, like I've done a lot of stuff reflecting where if a lot of this doesn't work out, if YouTube goes away or something, or if we can't do the things that we like doing, like all this, I have my degree, and I think I eventually just want to go back and teach.
Yeah.
Teach, whether if it's psychology or English, just get back and get my teaching credentials and do that. Because my other thing, as a reading a lot more, it's like, kids don't fucking read these days. They're just super lazy. Yeah. A lot of kids are really, really lazy. And I just, I like to be that sort of driving force to get some, even if it's just one kid, if it's one kid because that was my thing with movie reviews. It's like, I didn't care if I get a certain amount of views, but if like one person watched it and enjoyed the video and said, hey, I really enjoyed this review. This is great. I've impacted one person's life. Yeah. And that's all that really matters, so.
That's how I feel like with this podcast. Like, I don't care if like it gets 1,000 hits.
Right.
Like
it's nice.
Yeah. But am I like promoting the shit out of it just to get the number of hits? No,
you're promoting it because you work hard in it and you like doing it.
Yeah.
So that's the whole thing. And when I see videos like the JT special where it gets almost 50,000 views and in multiple, like, hundreds and thousands of people saying that they liked it, that's something that's very hard for me to process, because I came from shooting videos that average like 100 views if I was lucky.
Yeah.
And like 2 people, including like a family member, saying, hey, this is great.
Good job. Keep up. Keep at it.
So it's just gotten better. It's just gotten better. And I think it's going to continue to get better. It's just there's some things in the head that are rocking around that just don't agree with everything that I do.
Are you able to appreciate the nice comments?
Yes, absolutely.
Or do you say like, nah, they don't know anything?
No. I definitely like when people say this is the best show ever, or I really appreciate, or even like on the Wanger show recently, that girl Sarah, she called in. She's like, I appreciate everything that you do for the show. It's like that's fucking great. I love comments like that. Those are the best. I mean, even the troll comments I can laugh at.
Yeah.
Just some of the smaller things that piss me off with comments. It's like that's when it's like, you don't understand what we do. Yeah. You don't understand the hard work.
Yeah.
I put so much freaking work into the Schmo Show alone, on top of everything else that I do at Collider. And there's that. There's the Collider stuff, the stuff I do for Schmoes, and then the stuff that I want to do on my personal stuff.
Like write short films.
Write short films, write a book, whatever it may be. I have my own personal projects that I am trying to get going, but it's just, other things get in the way, other priorities, and, it's fine. Like it like because I can always work on that stuff. It's always going. Hopefully, it's always going to be there.
Yeah.
But it's just sometimes it's just I wish I had more time to do all my stuff.
But you have time.
I do. Yes. And
like
you know
what are you 25?
25.
Yeah.
Hey, but it's funny. Ken talks about this on his Knapsack Files. He has a great episode about time management on there that everyone should go and check out. And it's not so much like oh, I'm doing this, and this. By the time I get home, it's this and that. It's when you actually have your free time to do something that you want to work on. You as a person, like at least for him, and maybe I got this as well. It's like I'm not confident in doing that in that time. Like I don't have the creative drive to do it in certain times
when it's like scheduled and planned.
No, like say if I wasn't recording this day, if I didn't have any plans, I'd have a whole Sunday to do what can I do? Could I work on more schmo stuff? Can I work on my own creative things?
What would you have done?
I mean, probably watch some Netflix stuff.
Can you enjoy like a day off, or do you feel like you have to do something?
I can enjoy a day off, but even when I do so, it's like I need to do something.
Yeah,
I need like I'll be watching Netflix, but I'll have my computer open. Putting assets together for the show, or getting ideas from other things that I can try to do, or or watch a movie to help me get inspired to write this, or read a book to help me get inspired for this. But it's like. It's the same problem I had when I was like doing homework and shit. It's like, oh, I'll get to my homework. I'm going to watch this for a second and then I'll do my homework.
Yeah.
And by the time I'm doing it, by the time I'm writing a chapter in this book that I'm fucking trying to get going, it's 12 o'clock at night and all my creative juices are gone. And it's like, why the fuck did I waste so much time doing it? Yeah. But it's just, I have other things that are on my plate that I take care of first, and then I take care of my own personal stuff afterwards because, my own personal stuff, I'm not getting paid to do that. So I make sure I get my priorities straight. And then there's other things that, I want to go see movies. And I want to go and decorate my new apartment. And there's other things that I just try to fit into that. And like during the week, it's like I'll work a little bit at home, go to the studio, work all day there, whether I'm in a meeting or setting up stuff, doing some editing here and there, doing some schmodown stuff, a lot of schmodown stuff. And then I get home and then I eat and then, like where's my time? Where's my time? But then I work on more. I do start doing more stuff when I'm at home. So, and then by the time, like I said, by the time I want to do my own personal stuff, it's really late. So,
can you enjoy a day off like a vacation?
Yeah. I think that's what takes it to another level. Whereas like if I have like, we're recording this on Sunday and tomorrow's President's Day, we have that day off. It's like, I had the day off, but I'm going to be on my couch working on stuff.
But can you like go to the beach and just like relax at the beach?
Yeah, that's what I meant. It takes it to the extreme. Like I love going to Laughlin. I love going to Laughlin, just gambling out there. And I think we're planning for me and my buddy's birthday to go out there. When I'm in just like a separate place, like it's just another part of the country or whatever, I just feel completely disconnected. The phone is, I'm still on the phone. I'm probably still answering emails, but at least I'm away. I'm not on a computer editing stuff.
So you can still enjoy your time out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And not think about what show's coming up or something.
Oh no, I'll still be thinking about it.
Yeah.
I'll still be thinking about it. Yeah. And I'll still like, there'll be things that I see. I'm like, like, cause like when you come up with stories or you come up with ideas, like at least for me, it's not like I dreamed it or it's just random occurrences. I'm like, hey, cause I feel for me, I think I'm a very imaginative person to where if I see something in it that pops in my brain, this would be interesting if that happened this way and that way. And then I can generate a whole story from that. And I want to write that. Yeah. So when me and Cody were doing like Amateur Hour Films, which is like a YouTube channel, like I can't even imagine us having time to do that now.
Yeah.
But we would just come up with those ideas the day of, you know what I mean? You were there too. And it was just like, whatever we felt like we wanted to do, it was just no script at all. So
the problem with that is it wastes a lot of time.
It does. It does. But I feel like when me and Cody were actually doing those things, we actually made good stuff.
Yeah.
But like not planning.
Yeah. Because you would start at like 10 a.m.
Oh, and then by the time we finish, it's like 5 o'clock. It's like, fuck, we only shot one video.
Yeah. Like you wouldn't come up with the idea until like noon.
Yeah.
Then you would eat and then shoot. But it's like you could have had this whole day if you just like planned it out.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think part of the fun was actually just creating it on the spot. I think so. We've shot stuff where it was planned. Like we have a couple of short films that we've done and worked on together that were planned out, and then we worked out how we figured they would work out. But when it comes to sketch stuff, I like it more freeform. Not planning it out as much. But for future shoots, like obviously this new 30 for 30 special, maybe a lot of the stuff that they say will be improv based off of the question that they ask them. But other than that, it'll be all.
It's gonna be planned.
It's gonna be planned out. So yeah, scheduling and shooting it and doing all that stuff. So
it's nerve-wracking.
Yeah,
but exciting.
Yeah. It's a big project. That's why a lot of people are expecting a lot, and I don't because I love teasing. I love teasing, like, oh, here's the trailer, or like here's like maybe for this tease I would have taken a picture of like the title of what it's going to be called and send it out, and it gets people like, I love that stuff. When I was doing my short film, me and Cody's short film for Severance, that was sort of the same thing. Like we would tease things here and there, but the problem with that is that now people are assuming that's going to happen. And it kind of...
Oh, if it doesn't happen?
Yeah, if it doesn't, people are like, where'd that go? Like me and Cody, we shot a web series. It was supposed to be a 5-episode web series that we didn't end up finishing. We only shot like 3 episodes and a little bit of the 4th episode. And I remember I put out some pictures teasing like, oh, this is our web series that we're working on. And we were both very proud of it. We both co-read it together and it was really great. But it's just, unfortunately, we just ended up finishing it. And now... like the structure of my house where we shot it's different. So it's like now I kind of just want to reshoot the entire thing. Yeah. So, and maybe someday we'll get to that. I was very proud of that. It was a fun concept that I came up with, and Cody and I kind of put together the scripts on how the story structure would go out. And it started just us two. It was just us two. So with
like one of you would be camera, or would you have another?
No, we had some of our friends come and help us shoot the camera. Yeah. So yeah.
Do you have an ultimate goal?
Man. I think just what. Oh man, why are you doing this to me?
I don't mean to stump you. Like if you don't have one.
I mean, I think Makuga might have asked me the same thing when I was on the Makuga show, but it's different now. I think for the ultimate goal is just to have something with my name on it that is mildly successful. It doesn't matter what it is, whether if it's just this show or if it's a short film that I do in the near future. Like I wanted people to kind of look at me as like, oh, this guy did that. He worked on this and he made that something cool like that. Again, whether if it's short film, if it's just me producing schmoes, or if I write a book and it just does okay, fine. But like I want to be known just to like have done something creative and not based off of something either.
So you want to leave your mark.
I just want to leave my mark. Yeah. But not in the sense of like, oh, I want to be famous. I want to have a New York bestseller. Like, no, I just want to be a competent dude who came from nothing and just working on all these other things that are like that are really great to work on. And it got to be successful. Even if Schmoes is like the one thing that I'm known for, like it's a fucking great thing to be known for. Yeah. And I've had my time and it's still going currently, and I'm loving every second of it. It has its stressful days, but I've come to realize that's going to be anywhere you go, even if you're fucking self-employed, which technically I am. But I mean, like if you're working on your own thing. So I guess that would be the ultimate goal. Like right now, if everything fell apart tomorrow and I wasn't able to do anything else, then I'm like, okay, then I've had my run. It was fucking a hell of a good time. I have to move on and do something else.
But if you could do this for the next 20 years,
absolutely,
you would love it.
Oh yeah. If I could do this for the rest of my life, if Schmoes eventually just became a TV show or like Howard Stern's, just his show, and it just keeps going, I could do this for the rest of my life. I really could. Well, and it helps me when when we go to Comic-Con or we go to screenings and fans come up to us and say, you're like, hey, I look up to you, or I was in your kind of boat as well. Nobody really talks movies with me, but I watch you guys, and it's like I'm talking with you or you talking to me. Yeah. And that's just very inspiring, and people like, when we went to Comic-Con, people were coming up to me and Cody talking about Horror Flicks, this old podcast that we did, and they wanted us to bring it back, Them, they talk about short films that me and Cody have worked on, and they really loved it, as in like inspiring filmmakers. It's really cool to hear all that. It's fucking weird. It is so weird. Like, you watched it? You liked it? Oh, that's weird.
That's just like the greatest compliment.
It really is. Yeah. And it strives me to keep going. Yeah. It doesn't make me want to stop. Especially when like people are relying on it. Like, I feel bad every time, we don't record a Wanger show, because there's people out there that actually want to listen to it. It's just, I prefer us to be all together at the same time. If schedules don't work out, then it doesn't. So, I mean, we have great plans for that show anyway. So, I think people are going to be very happy with it. And it's just, I couldn't be more appreciative of everyone's support, whether it's like you guys, everyone on our show, or fans listening, or family members. It's just, it's very cool. Very fortunate.
Yeah.
I am very fortunate. Yeah.
You happy?
I am happy. Well, sometimes I am happy, but I'm not.
No.
Yeah.
You should be happy.
I know. I am.
It's hard just to say it, huh?
It is. Yeah. Fuck. I'm gonna go take a bath now.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
You're gonna go drown.
No. I am very happy. There's just, everyone has their moments, and unfortunately, I have a lot of moments.
Oh, that's what I wanted to say. It's good to be stressful because otherwise you're doing something wrong.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I'd rather, as maybe it's contradictory, I'd rather be just continuously stressed out about stuff that I'm working on, so long as it's good.
Yeah.
And if I'm not stressed out, then maybe I'm not doing the right thing.
That's the thing. Yeah. Like you need that stress, or else like you're not doing something good.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So
I think we've talked long enough.
Yeah. You broke me down, man. You fucked me up.
You wanted to go 40 minutes. It's been like an hour and 40.
Oh shit.
No,
has it really?
It's been hour 20.
Oh, okay.
But
right.
it's a good amount.
No, I think so. I mean, you lose track of time.
Yeah,
that's how good it was. So
thank you for doing this.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me on. Hope I didn't depress anybody out there.
No, I feel like everyone is like everyone in their 20s is like going through the same thing.
Yeah.
And I feel like
God, you should have seen me when I was younger. Angry, sad, and ignorant and arrogant all in one.
I went through the same thing in college.
I think everyone does.
Like you just feel like alone.
You feel alone, but you feel like you know it. Like you feel like you know what life is all about. Even now, it's like I don't fucking you realize, you go with it. You think you know everything when you're younger,
or you just want to have been like already done with life.
Yeah.
You just want to be set up and everything.
At this point, it's like if I died, like sure, why not? Why not? I'm curious to see what it's like. Yeah. I always joke about like, oh, I just want to die young because the young ones die. The great ones die young. It's like I'm young, but I haven't gotten great yet, so I'm still working on that. Yeah. So. Yeah.
You'll be fine.
I'll try.
Keep at it.
I'll keep at it. Yeah.
Where can people find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter at Cobbster15. Also, The Wanger Show every Monday. Well, every other Monday. It depends. Mondays, if you're lucky. The Wanger Show, the Schmozno podcast channel, the Schmozno iTunes feed, the Schmozno live show, which is on the Schmozno YouTube channel, youtube.com/Schmozno. Live every Wednesday from 7 to 9 p.m. PST. We're taking phone calls, talking movies, talking some shit. So that's where you can find me.
Yep. Thank you for listening. Don't be a Beardo. And leave 5 stars, share it, comment, share with your friends, whatever. Do all that. I really don't care.
Comment on this video too.
Yeah.
Let us know. There's been great comments on this show so far. So
yeah, a lot of people like it.
There you go.
And that's what's pretty cool.
All right.
That's all that matters.
Wanger out.
See you later.